Good evening. My name is Jake Arpizu, and for this report, I'll be talking about the basics of fire behavior. As everyone knows, firefighters who are responding to fire have to cope rapidly with many certain conditions, which includes flashover, fire class, combustion of fire, fire components, and heat transfer. The four components of fire are heat, fuel, oxygen, and chain reaction. Those four components also make up the fire tetrahedron, which is this diagram of the FT. Now for the process of combustion here, all four components have to be present. But if one of these were not present, let's say the fuel, the entire process will be interrupted and there will be no fire nor combustion. Next up, what we have is a flashover. A flashover is the transition between the growth and the fully developed fire. Now during flashover, the conditions in a room change very rapidly as the fire changes by burning of the materials first ignited, which involves all the exposed combustible materials within the room. There are 5 classifications of fires. There is Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class K. Each classification resembles a fire. For example, Class A are regular fires, which burns wood, cloth, cardboard, rubber, and plastic. Class B, which relates to flammable liquids and gases. So we have like this cleaner, which is extremely flammable. Next we have Class C, which are electrical appliances, such as this lamp, this projector, mainly also computers. Next we have Class D, which are combustible metals, which includes little metal toys, which can melt, metal staplers, metal used in construction and workshops. Lastly, we have Class K, which relates to special cooking material, such as cooking oil. Now, the transition of heat, aka heat transfer, is when heat transfers from one building to another. There are 3 components that are part of heat transfer. There is conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, conduction is a point-to-point transfer of heat. Here we have a log in my fireplace, and I'll be demonstrating conduction. And as you can see, the heat from the flame is transferring to the paper on the log. So this here will be an example of conduction.
That was probably not a good idea, maybe that's why, but it kept her busy. Like, oh, happy with them.
Now, convection is a heat transfer by movement of liquid or gases. And as you can see, a brief example of how I could say this as if I put my hand, the heat from that fire is transferring to my hand. Now, radiation is the energy that is like a heat wave. And as you can see, as I put my hand, as I put my hand right towards the fire, the heat right around that fire, I can feel around my hand like a wave, right around there. Another thing firefighters have to be aware of is a backdraft. Now during a backdraft, a whole bunch of the unburned gases develop in one area. So what firefighters have to be aware of is as they enter a room, you have to be aware that the oxygen, as they go in, will start to rush in, making a fire a very explosive force. And as you can see, as I open the door, there we go. Air actually starts to rush in and causes the fire to ignite and flare rapidly. So this is basically how many deaths through firefighters actually happen, as they explode and it engulfs them through fire. Alright, here's a second example of a backdraft in a real life situation.
Check that door for heat, Tim.
Well, this concludes this report on fire behavior. I hope this information will help all personnel. This is Jake Arvizu, signing out.